Hello, and welcome to another inspiring episode of Global Desi Women. I'm your host, Arti Solanki, a business coach, a real estate broker, and an entrepreneur passionate about empowering women to step into their fullest potential. Today, we have an incredible honor of hosting Dr. Sunanda Nair, a distinguished name in the world of Indian classical dance. She's the first student in India to earn both the bachelor's and master's degree in Mohini Attam, and her contribution as a performer, choreographer, educator have left a lasting impact on the beautiful art form. Along with me, I have my co-host Vinu Palicha, an owner of We Desi, an ethnic wear collection. She's also a very passionate dance, I would say, enthusiastic. She's very phenomenal. So as soon as we heard that Dr. Sunanda was coming, she was like, "Yeah, I want to be there." And so it's really a pleasure having you both today with us. And Dr. Nair, I welcome you to Global Desi Women. We are so excited to have you on our show. Thank you for coming.
Namaste. Namaste to both of you.
Welcome.
And thank you so much for thinking of me and inviting me. This is going to be great. This is going to be fun. Just
Yeah.
going to enjoy myself with both of you here. Thank you for
Same
having
here.
me on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. To start, could you share a little bit about your journey? What inspired you to pursue Mohiniyattam, and how did your passion of dance begin? I mean, I'm sure the level you are, it probably started from childhood, but please
Definitely
share.
did. Yes, it definitely did. My first step in dance, a formal training, was at the age of 6 under Guru Kalamandalam Krishnanguti Warrior. It's one of the premier institutions in Kerala. He had passed out from there and he had moved to Mumbai, Bombay then.
Mhm.
And I was lucky enough to have him in our close vicinity. You know, like you have these colonies, and he was actually, I remember, he didn't have a point of teaching at this place. So my parents, my mom and dad went and requested him, like he was at a faraway location, that we have so many kids in this place. It's a new colony. Why don't you come and start there? So that's how I started my dance thing at the age of 6. But one thing I realized when now when I'm teaching kids and all, I realize is I don't think like there was a point at any time that I was at home, like, I'm not going to class today, or I'm
Mhm.
not just, I don't remember anything like that. I
Yeah.
remember, in fact, the times when, in Bombay, I'm a Malayali. My mom is from Kerala, parents are from Kerala. So I remember like once in a month or once in 2, 3 months, one Malayalam movie used to come in town that time, okay? And it used to be a little at a far location, and all the people would gather together and go for that movie. And I remember telling them, like, no, 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 don't take it ticket for me because I have dance class. I'm not going to miss my class and go for a movie. So I remember those episodes in my growing up days that I wouldn't give up a dance class to go for anything. I also remember
Shows the
school picnics.
dedication.
It was just no, I don't. I think it was just the love for dancing at that age. Never thought of any dedication or anything of that sort. It's just like dance classes. I love. I mean, I enjoyed it, so I went there. And
Yeah.
then also school picnics used to end up on a weekend because we used to have school Monday to Saturday. We never
Mm.
had like this Friday and Saturday, Sunday off and all that. Saturday was half day, but it was
Yes.
just like one period less. That's all.
Yeah.
Instead of 1 o'clock, the school used to disperse probably at 12. That's it. And yeah, so we went all 6 days to school, and Sunday used to be school picnic. And I remember telling teacher also, I cannot go because I have dance class. So I remember those, and yeah, so I think it was just the love for dancing at that age.
Yeah.
And I think it came to me. And when it came to me, I remember standing in the front of the line and, doing. So I think that all helped boost my confidence and I enjoyed dance more at that time. So it started at the age of 6, and there's never been like a break from dance because actually the reason for me being in the art field itself is I remember a dance was continuous irrespective of whatever exam came and went. It didn't bother me. I mean, I wouldn't take a break. In fact, I remember my mom going and telling my guruji, that can you please tell her not to come during that SSC exam time for a month. I remember that, okay. And then I wouldn't listen to mom. I wanted to go to dance class, right? Nothing stops me. So I remember going there and sir standing there and I'm looking at him. I have to tell you something. I said, what happened here? I said, yeah. Now don't come till your exams are over. I said, yeah, my mommy has reached here also. So she said, okay, I got it. Like, okay, but because Guruji says, then that's it for me. That's the ultimate. So I would
Uh-huh.
finish my exam and back again. So that's the only time I've stayed away from dance.
Oh, wow.
And in my degree, in my final year, now we have all these kids, there's different competitions happening at different level. But it's good actually because it's pretty. Kids have lots to do and they have a lot of opportunities to show whatever their
Right.
talents.
Mm.
That time when I was growing up, I don't think we had so much at that
Mm.
time. And I was growing up in Mumbai. I was born and brought up in Bombay. So we had dance competition. You let me know when I'm supposed to put a full stop to my
No,
talk
no,
here.
no,
Please,
you're
please,
fine. You're
please
fine.
stop.
Please
Yes.
continue.
So I remember we had a dance competition my degree year. I've
Mm.
never danced in a competition ever. I just did programs. We never did any competition. And my sir was not in for competitions either. So I was walking down this corridor and then two boys come right at me and I'm like, I know them. They're familiar. They're from my colony somewhere. I've seen them. They just come and right stand in front of me and they say, they're tall, okay? So they were tall, like really. So they looked down at me and like, you dance, right? I said, yeah, I dance. Why? He's saying, no, we have a collegiate, intercollegiate competition. You need to go for that. No, 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 no. I don't do that kind of dance. I just do dance when some temple or some festive occasion. That's all. I'm not dance beyond that. I'm not going to do this. They say, no, 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 no. We need somebody to represent from college. And the girl who's been representing the past 5 years, she's graduating. So
Mm.
I was in the fourth year already, and I was just class back home, class back home. I said, finally, I said, okay, I'll try. Okay. Then they told me, okay, tomorrow I think or something. They said it's like we have a competition. It's in the whatever cafeteria, not cafeteria. It was a big hall there, so you just have to come ready there. I said, okay. And then I came there, and I was supposed to compete with the girl who was representing the college all those years. She,
Mm.
then why am I here? So you know what my professors told me? Since you are here and you're ready, why don't you just go and perform for us? And I did perform for them. It was Bharatanatyam. I never did Mohiniyattam till then. I never did, and I never
Mm.
started learning Mohiniyattam. So it was Bharatanatyam. So the moment I finished, all my lecturers came up on stage and said, "Where were you the past 4 years?" I said, "Oh
Wow.
my God!" I said, "I was here only. It used to be just my class and back home class." I said, "You should have gone all these years." And that year, I got I think 5 medals, gold medals for my university. So that's what
Wow.
happened. So that's been my turning point.
Yeah.
And at that time is when by that time you're 17 years old and then you begin to enjoy differently, dance differently than
Yeah.
what it used to be like, okay, basic 1, 2, 3, 4, and 10 and blah, 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 blah. And here when you're dancing, you kind of grow with it.
Mm.
You kind of enjoy more, you feel more. And dancing for competition was tough because it was all Maharashtra. Because Bombay University, then all Maharashtra, everybody comes from every nook and corner.
Right.
And I think that was a changing point. That was a turning point for me. Like, okay, I think dance, it cannot be like a luck every single time. Like there
Yeah.
has to be
Yeah.
something more in me. So I said, and then I was a student of commerce and I was getting into I was a law student. And then I decided that I know Bharatanatyam. Every person is doing Bharatanatyam. And I, being from Kerala, like born and brought up in Bombay, I being from Kerala, I want to do the art form from Kerala. We have a
Mm.
lot of so I want somebody to teach me Mohiniyattam.
Yeah.
And my search for Mohiniyattam finally got me to the late Padma Bhushan Dr. Kanakreli, my Guruji for past 35 years. And she
Wow.
just passed 2 years ago. Her anniversary is coming up on February 22nd. Is the day you're going to be. Yes. So I'm going to be, yes, it's her death anniversary, second one. So we are going to be, I think, showing this on the same day, I think, this telecast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
feel
that'll be
blessed
so
that's
nice.
happening.
Yes, that'll be so nice.
So
It's a
best that it's
blessing.
happening on the same day, remembering my Guruji, all her teachings, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my strength.
Yeah, so that was going to be my first question when you mentioned Bharatnatyam. So I was going to first ask you, like, when did you start learning? Because I assume that you only learned Mohiniyattam, but wow. So because Mohiniyattam is a dance from your state,
From
you wanted
Kerala.
to get into it.
Yes. See,
Okay,
Bharatanatyam, like it's super popular. Everybody's doing
right.
Bharatanatyam. Yeah. But I used to think like, I don't know why. it struck me at that age. And that to being from Bombay, like being a Malayali, I need to know my art form that comes from my state. My parents came from there. I'm a Keralite. I want to learn, And my trips to Kerala, you remember how, like in Bombay, you just go vacations and come back when
Yeah.
the school starts. You get like 1 month, April or May, one
Yeah.
month chutti, and then June you start school again. So in that
Right.
short break, you never really got to see much of dance and anything. You just like visiting, visiting, visiting. I remember
Yeah.
going from this grandparents' house, that and uncles and aunties. There was no time for really looking into dance and music there. But whatever I remember was that I saw a few clips. We didn't have so much video and exposure then, but whatever I could see or hear was very few limited items that were
Yeah.
performed.
Yeah.
So I said I wanted to learn more than that, and that's when I happened to see my Guruji's performance on National Network,
Wow.
Doordarshan, and I
Yes.
used to sit and
Right.
watch all of that.
Right.
Then I saw, I'm like, oh my God, she's right here. I lived in Andheri East, and this is Juhu, just opposite Amitabh's Bangla is Nalanda Nritya Kala Mahavidyalaya, standing four floors tall now. So I said, yeah, right here. And I went to her, I spoke to her. So she was very happy, very welcoming. She said, today you can start. She had already heard of me because her student was my Guruji then for Bharatanatyam, Deepak Majumdar
Wow.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, so she already knew that I existed and I was already dancing. See, we are affiliated to Bombay University. So when Bombay University has a dance competition and you have a gold medal winner, obviously it's like, who is this year's winner?
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, so it's like, oh, my student,
Right. Right.
But I was like,
So how is Kachipudi, sorry, like Bharatanatyam, Kachipudi, and then Mohiniyattam, how is it different? Like Kathak and
let me tell you simple, okay? We have so many languages in our country and so many dialects. Forget the dialects. Look at the major languages.
mm,
Well, what are the major languages differences that you see? Right from the vocabulary, the writing. Similarly, the same kind of differences are there in your classical art forms.
right,
Kerala will have the features of Kerala. The language probably might be more Malayalam, or we could use any other language. That's not a issue. But basically, when you talk from Kerala, then you talk about Malayalam. The dressing is very related to what people dress in Kerala. So you see the off white and the gold more in the costuming. So that's how it is. If you look at Tamil Nadu, so much of flashy Kanjivaram saris, you see that all in your costuming. Andhra, you see a lot of Kanjivaram saris, you see that in your Kuchipudi. Odissi comes from Odisha. So it
yeah,
absorbs all the culture and food, yeah, all the dressing, everything. The music is from the region. The music will be from the region. So if you're actually, we use Sopana Sangeetam, which is very Kerala music, which is used in Kathakali. We use that music for Mohiniyattam. Some of the art styles do use Karnataka music, but we don't. My style of dancing, Mohiniyattam doesn't. Bharatanatyam uses its own music, Karnataka music. So everybody has, just like our dressing is different from each state, though we are connected somehow. If you look at it, we have
different.
sarees worn from the length and breadth of India, but the sarees are worn like in so many variations that you'd be stunned with the variety we have. So similarly, all these art forms, these classical art forms, they're
Right,
very
right.
rooted in their own regions.
But
They absorb the
so does somebody have to know any of those before they do Mohiniyattam, or
I
Mohiniyattam
actually
itself
no, not really.
can be learned?
No, not really. But yes, it is a more mature art form compared to Bharatanatyam,
Mm,
Kuchipudi. Odissi and Mohiniyattam, I would put them in the same bracket, are more like a mature art form. It's like, you need a little more of what do you call
Softness.
it? Softness. It comes with a lot of practice. The softness and
Because I'm
the
looking
bend
at the
down of movements.
right.
As if it's like sinking into it and the flow. It comes after a long practice. I always say, like, if it looks very easy, that means
Hmm.
the dancer has worked super hard on it. If it looks
mm,
and it's very hard to look clumsy as well, because if you do not have control, it can be very wiggly. But you have to have a smoothness in your performance. It should be like, you're having a nice meal and suddenly you have you bite into something, you're like, ouch. And the whole thing
yeah,
is like that. So it's like it should be absolute. It should not disturb. It's like we say, like something that disturbs your eye. No, like we not good.
yeah,
Yeah. So it has to be absolutely soothing. And then you have that artist has really worked.
very refined.
Then like lots to do, and that's because we have a slower pace, so it's very hard to see. It's
So
very easy
that's
to see those flaws.
yeah. So that's what I was going to say, that you did Bharatnatyam, and Bharatnatyam is a very structured form of dance. And
Yes.
then, or
shifting to
Mohiniyattam is a little bit more softer
soft and
and
slow.
graceful. Yeah.
So does that mean that it has more of like the facial expressions and the mudras more than the, like
Yeah,
I would
if you
say
look at
Kathak?
if you look at the art forms in Kerala, if you look at the art forms in Kerala, they're very vibrant and very the facial expressions are very loud. If you look at Kathakali, if you look at Nangyar Kunda, they're
Right.
you see Kathakali, the face is colored and the eyes speak everything.
Yeah.
You don't
Mhm.
even have a lip movement. It's like there, and only you hear is sometimes you hear roars when you hear, like, for example, like Narasimham coming or it's a Rakshasa character, you can hear them roar.
All
But
right.
we don't have much. It's all the eyes and the
Mm.
chin and the eyebrows that do the entire expression of what is to be coming. But it is loud. The facial expressions are loud in Kerala art forms, and a little of it reflects in Mohiniyattam.
Yeah.
We don't have to be so loud as the others because they are already painted and they have to be to be seen. They have to come out of it to be able. But in this, we don't really have to because we have our natural face and expressions. So we don't really have to be that loud. But yes, Abhinaya is louder, a little more. And we use the entire body to break down, express.
Mm.
We can use that. Now, Bharatanatyam is not so much, and as compared, but every art form has Abhinaya. That is
Right.
cannot be the
Yeah.
case.
Of course.
Every art form has nritta and abhinaya. Nritta is dance sequences of pure dance, like steps and like all beautiful dancing, which is just to create a beautiful picture. And abhinayam is your storytelling.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
art form, every classical art form has it.
Yeah. So you trained, sorry, Vino, if you want to go. I was going to say that since you've trained under some of the most renowned gurus, right? Including Padma Bhushan, Dr.
Correct.
Kanakarele. So, what are some of the most valuable lessons you've learned from your mentors? Like, you want to share something with us?
One is when you dance, don't dance to impress anybody. Dance because you're happy. Because when you're happy, you go into the soul of the art form eventually. And then when you dance with your full, uh, you pour your heart into your
Out
dance.
into it.
Just enjoy, irrespective of people watching you, not watching you. That reaches the audience even more than trying to impress somebody with your dance. And she always told me, like, I remember, in India that time, we used to have on Thursdays, we used to have a whole page devoted to dance reviews. It used to sum up like all classical art forms done, performances done. A critic would come, write what he felt about it, and and I used to be so every Thursday morning. Oh my God, I did a program. Wonder what's happening. You thirsty? You run, open the doors, check the review, and you're like, thank God. So all these reviews every time used to be very nice to always said good things. I don't remember any time having any review that said anything negative. And my teacher had a way of we had a great rapport, and she had a way of you know explaining things to me. Actually, I would go to college and she'll see me, Sunanda, I want to talk to you, come. So I was like, oh God, what did I do, or what didn't I do? Scared, like, what did I not do now? But the review says good, so I don't wonder what she has to say now. So I would go, she said, perfect, all your reviews are awesome, you did a great job, everything is nice, but you don't become an artist till you start moving from within. She used to tell me. If you look at it at the age of 20, 25, 30, your stamina is at your peak and you will be able to jump, run, twist, turn, dance, everything you'll be able to do. But after that, if you noticed, more than 50% of the dancers die out. You don't see them after that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And then she's saying it's like that chalni thing. You finally you get at the top, you only get the
Yeah.
best. I used to think the newspapers didn't say anything about moving from within. You're 20, 25 at that age. You can't think
You
beyond
don't
it.
think.
Teacher told me to do this. I have to do this right. This is the expression. This is the look there. That's all I could think of. And I said, what is missing now? Like, I don't understand what is moving from within. But I think now I understand that moving from within is actually what I said now. Like, you dance with your heart and soul, that reaches the audience. And now I understand. I feel now, even if I don't move my hands and legs, give me a theme, I'll be able to enjoy and share it with you. So I've come to a point like I don't need to dance. I can just like be there and just
Just
like
feel the
it's getting into be like more we used to talk like, okay, this is A Naika means a heroine, and she's waiting for the hero. Hero could be God. Now, here it is actually, and there is a friend whom she's talking to. Oh, dear friend, I'm missing my Lord. Will you go and get him? What does it actually mean? It means you're a devotee. You're talking to your guru. Please show me the path to the absolute.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the meaning. The Lord is the absolute. So you're a human being who's like, in that your level, mundane level, just, and then you're talking to your friend who's your guru and say, please, where is my Lord? I don't see him. I've been waiting. I've been doing so many things for him all these years. I don't see him. Then she says, okay, leave everything here. You just go, be surrender yourself. We just do it at that level at that time. We don't understand. Now I feel that I understand, like, what it means. Like, it's not just a human being that we're looking for. We're looking for the absolute. We're looking for
Yeah.
soul searching for that ultimate, which we keep going. The entire life goes by looking, searching for the absolute. I mean, it's a soul searching thing. So that I'm on that journey and I'm really enjoying this now. Now everything that she said then is like, you do not become an artist till you start moving from within.
Within.
It's really making sense.
Yeah.
Now I understand. It's like even if you don't jump, twist, turn, you can still communicate with your audience. But with the age also, we also go down with the age and we have limitations there. But I feel I'm more happier now. I'm feel when I talk to my audience, I can see the response I get, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I always remember that you don't become an artist till you start moving from within. So now that there are many dancers who will die out by 30, then you will find few more at 40, and then
And then,
others,
yep.
very handful of them will be left.
Very handful.
It's
Yeah.
like truly passionate dancers who dance because they love that art form.
If
That's
you
what it
love your
is.
art form, you communicate
Yes.
well. That is, yeah.
I'm from Bombay too, and
We all are.
all the time I used to like whenever we passed by Nalanda Dance Institute, I used to
Yes.
always feel like I want to one day come here, but that day never came. But I know that they offered Kathak classes also, and I think
Now
some
they started. They've
instruments.
started Kathak and Odissi. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. They
yeah.
started Kathak and
So
Odissi. It used to be only
always
Bharatanatyam and Mohiniyattam earlier.
right, right, right. But
I
yeah,
was a
to have
lecturer there once I finished my master's. I was a lecturer till 2000, I think, and then I resigned and I came here.
Oh, okay, okay. So what is does that also just like Bharatnatyam, Mohiniyattam also has a certain number of trainings and the final like there is Arangetram in Bharatnatyam, is there?
Yeah, same, similar.
Okay,
See, yeah, every art form has the same process of,
right.
like, right? It's just like learning a language. You start from vocabulary, you form alphabets, you form words, you form sentences, you write an essay, and you go on after that. So just every art form, just like every language you have, every art form has the same process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else besides Mohiniyattam do you teach?
I do Bharatanatyam. Actually, Bharatanatyam I teach because yeah, when you know what, I started teaching Bharatanatyam when I was ninth grade because my Guruji
Wow.
was senior. My
Mm.
Guruji was very senior, and somehow knew that I might be in the field, though I had not decided that I would be in the field. I knew I was happy dancing. I remembered like, oh, your daughter dances so pretty. When she comes on stage, we can't take her eyes off. I remember all this, looking up, holding my mom's hand. People are talking. I can hear. I still can see, hear all those things. But I never thought like, full time this would be my thing.
Right.
So I don't know. My Guruji told me like when I was in ninth grade, he said, "Come and sit here." And then I just wondered why. Then he said, "No, you sit here. And, like you don't sit in the same place." Like yeah.
Right,
So then
right.
he gave me a stick and said, "Start." I said, "My goodness!" And they were all like 5 year, 6 year old. I was so terrified of them. Like, like little kids staring at me, and I'm about 13, 12, 13. And I started teaching, and then I would see sir and do the same thing. And after a month, sir said, okay, now you take the class. When the little kids' class would come, he say, okay, now you take
Hmm.
the class. I'm going and sitting in that room. I said, sir, please don't go because staring at the kids is terrified. I said, don't go, sir, please. No, no, no. You can see me directly. I will be sitting right there. I said, okay. Finally, he went. Then I would adjust properly to see that I can see him because if I need any help, then I would take the class. After
Yeah.
2 months, he wore a slipper and he said, now you take the class. I said, sir, where are you going? I'm going home.
Oh,
Yeah, so when that small kids class came, finally, he saw I became comfortable. He said, "Okay, now I'm going." You, I said, he left. So then after that, I started teaching this small group. Then there was when I was 16, I remember there was somebody who approached my Guruji, like Kalamla Krishnan Gatiwari, and told him, like, we are starting a new class here. We would like you to come and teach. He told them, go to Sunanda. Can you imagine giving a class to a 16-year-old? I look at all the 16-year-olds today. I said, I can't entrust my class to you. You know, see, he had that confidence. And these committee members came to my house and said, will you come and teach? I said, Guruji said, what are you doing here? I said, he sent us here. And they came and they assigned me that class. I started taking that class at the age of 16. I'm thinking, which parents send their daughters to me? I have no idea. To
They
still
had
teach.
that much confidence in you.
And can you believe it? I'm still in touch with all those girls, and some of
Wow.
them are still learning online with me. We are hardly
Wow.
engaged in this, because if I'm 16, they're what, 6, 10 years max? Yeah, so
Right,
they are
right.
learning. They come online and they catch up with me online classes. So it's a beautiful journey.
Yeah.
It's for me, dance teaching starts from here. Only then you can teach.
Yeah.
See,
You
these
have to
art
have that
forms are not
love.
very technical. Like sometimes you're in a good mood. You have to be in a good mood when you're teaching. You have
Yeah,
to be. Yeah, you cannot art forms. You just cannot work. You cannot say like, okay, we'll be practical like this. It just cannot be like that. It starts from here, it ends here.
Yeah.
So I
how
love
many
what I'm doing.
years how many years have you been teaching over here in Houston?
Houston is. I came with Katrina. You know that? I moved with Katrina from New Orleans,
Wow.
2005.
Started.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Katrina got me here. We evacuated and we came here. 2005, 25, not 20 years in
So we
Houston.
had that in common too because I was in Louisiana too. But
Really?
we moved 2002, I think. Two or
You
three.
were there,
But
yeah,
we used to
before
be in
Katrina.
Baton Rouge.
Oh, Baton Rouge. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
there. I had 2000, I think I was in New Orleans, Kenner, and
Okay.
I started teaching, yeah, there. Taught barely 4 or 5 years, and then this Katrina brought us here. It was been a roller coaster ride for me. It's like
yeah.
you moving from Bombay is not something that was planned, it just happened.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. Do
again,
you
I just
I was going to ask you, do you see the difference in between the kids that are learning dance in India, Bombay, and then the kids here? Do you
Yes.
feel that cultural difference, or do you feel the difference in that?
when we were in India, when I was into big time performances, is that we always dancers that then had this notion that, oh, people from USA, they just do something, the kids, they just do something, they're not really into it, and they come here and they, like, there's no standard. I mean, vague thought, I mean, these thoughts used to come to almost everybody. Then when I had to come here, I was like, man, where am I going? And this is what I had in my mind, right? What will these kids? Nobody is interested. Nobody wants to do. What will I
Right.
do then? And I just cannot live without dance. For me, everything is like music and dance for me. I'm like, what am I going to do? And then I said, okay, family comes first. Quit everything. Just and my students were amazing there already by then. They were graded artists of Doordarshan. They were national CCRT scholarship holders for Bharatanatyam and Mohiniyattam. So we were really going, like my performances, my students going well, everything was super duper. And then I had to come here. So I was like, I don't know what to do. I just moved. My son was 8 years old. And then we came to New Orleans. And then, I mean, I was down. I didn't know what to do. But yes, yeah, life went on. Then somehow the community got to know that there is a dancer in town, and they few ladies came to me. Will you help us teach some dance at some Onam function? I said, okay. I didn't want because they might think like, oh, big deal, Yeah. So
Right.
I said, okay, I'll come. Then got in there. Will you perform for us one for the Onam program? And finally, I said yes. And I wore my costume. I remember dressing up in that dressing room. I wept because it was after 3 to 4 months that I was wearing that
That you got a
costume.
Yeah.
chance.
And I
Wow.
said, I remember that. Because in India, it was like every week we were
Right.
somewhere. You're
Right.
traveling, some Government of India festivals, Sangeet Natak Academy. I was always, and I wept because I felt like, oh my God, my costume. And I
Yeah.
danced that day. And the moment you dance, once you're a performer, that's one good thing.
That
Everybody sees, and next day onwards, will you teach my daughter? Will you teach my daughter? So that is very beautiful community out there, New Orleans. They brought me back actually. And
Yeah.
then all these kids got together, and just when the class was just like coming up, came Katrina. And then again we moved, and I was like, what's happening? And then we
Right.
came here. And then again, one organization got to hear that I'm here. Will you perform for us? I did. And then after that, there's no stopping me. It's been, we're about
Yes, yes.
400, 500 students now. So
Wow.
doing
Yeah.
good. Enjoy teaching. I mean, I really enjoy. I said, see, it's like, your baby and you're teaching the baby to sit up, stand up,
I know.
walk, walk, walk. And then you see them running and then you see them acing. It's
It's a
yeah.
joyful moment for you. Yeah.
But to add on to what Aarti asked you, like between the differences, I'll
Oh,
go
sorry.
deeper and I'll say because in India language is not a barrier.
Yeah.
Is it easier for them to express versus here?
No, you know what? Once I started teaching, after a few months probably, I actually said to myself, do not form an opinion till you actually see, hear anything yourself.
Mm,
Because when I started working with the kids, they were all out. And first year, I used to travel to India during summer, teach them, but I have no complaints about the way the kids work. Very hardworking. You give them something good, they take it, they see it, they are intelligent, they know. Yes. Yeah. Then after the first year of teaching, I went back to India and I've continued teaching my older students there. My
Okay.
school is still on now. So it is. And then I came back. When I came back, it was a big blow. I'm like, oh my God, we have so much to do. I mean, the kids here. Eventually, after 4 or 5 years, I could like, okay, that it didn't hit me hard. Like, oh my God, what is the standard here? Slowly it blended. And
yeah.
now my students in India, or my all my senior dancers, professional dancers, they dance with the local kids who have grown here fast 15, 16 years there with me. They look same.
Yeah.
Difference between now kids from here go to India and perform at different venues, and they get appreciated for their performances. So it's
It's
yeah, so there is nothing. It's our kids, you give them, they're just equally amazing. If
right.
and they're smart, they're intelligent, they know, they see, they hear, they know what is what.
I guess once they understand the art, the language of art, then it's
We
for
do
them to
explain the
yeah,
meaning.
right.
Now it's high time that they really know what's going on. They see so much, they hear so much. I
Yes.
share my experiences with them. So they're completely into it now. I have so many of my kids I know that didn't go out of town for college because they could continue dance. They wanted to
Mm,
continue.
yeah, yeah.
So,
So
and
as
there's hardly any difference between, I would say, like, our kids here or India kids. Equally
yeah,
good.
yeah. So as someone who has dedicated your, I would say, entire life for Mohiniyattam, what are your personal definitions of success in the world of classical art, like a classical dance? What would you say is the definition of success for you?
My idea when I started Mohiniyattam was I wanted to see more performers, more venues in classical dance fields devoted for Mohiniyattam. Earlier, it used to be very few. I remember, like, in an entire festival, Government of India, I'm traveling somewhere, Jaipur, Jodhpur, Udaipur, and all that. 6 day festival, Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi, Kathak is going on, maybe one Mohiniyattam.
Mm, yeah,
So, yeah, I was like, this has to change. And
yeah,
it did change. And we have amazing performers in Mohiniyattam in India. When I came into this country, that same process started again.
yeah.
I remember one organization called me when I was in New Orleans from Portland, telling me that we would like you to have your performance here, a full-fledged program. I said, definitely. And then we agreed on different terms. Everything was finalized. After that, they called me a month before the program. You're coming here and you're going to perform for us. I said, yes, definitely. So saying, you're going to perform Mohiniyattam. I said, yeah, that's what you invited me for, right? So, but would you be doing Bharatanatyam also? I said, no, you said Mohiniyattam, I would do Mohiniyattam. Why would I do Bharatanatyam? If you told me Bharatanatyam, saying, no, 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 no. The reason I'm asking, do you have so many items in Mohiniyattam that you can do for evening? I said, oh my God, I was so hurt. And I know the process was on again here. And I told them, look, my ego was hurt and all the hard work that I'd done and with my Kanak ma'am's, all her contribution to, the
Yeah.
developing the platform. And I told them, you call me for an entire week, everyday program. I promise I won't repeat any item for you. So you have so, I said, of course. And that day I danced 8 items instead of the regular 6.
Oh, wow.
So that's from there. So I'm happy that Now, so much of Mohiniyattam is here as well. Somehow I got the name of a global ambassador of Mohiniyattam. So I
Yeah.
think,
I was about to say that you took it globally. You made it as
yes,
a
Yes.
global.
it could work. Yes, but it was tough to when I started. But now I have amazing students also here who are practicing the art form. And yeah, come a long way. It's been
Yeah. So
43 years
looking
of teaching.
Yeah, looking ahead, what are your goals and aspirations to the future? Like you said, you've already done like made sure that globally it could be
Yeah,
recognized, right?
yeah, yeah.
So what are your more like
You see,
what do you
me,
look
when I
forward
start,
to?
yeah, when I started with dance, I never planned my career. It's never been a career, or it has never been like a professional, progression from one to the next. It's always been love for dance. It's
Yeah,
always been sharing the love for dance. So I just take every day as it comes and enjoy every day and give my best to the art form possible. Today I had my students from Austin drive down. I choreograph new pieces for them. So it's just like doing my best for the day without I don't really have big plans like करना है वो करना है वहां पर वैसे कुछ नहीं. It's basically that becomes very what to say. I look that way. That I'm not really interested in that kind of goals where like yeah, I just want to enjoy the art form, share the art form as much as possible with my
yeah,
students, and I see them now sharing the art form. So that's exactly what I want now. He's in the 30s and all, they're getting into the performances, getting into different things in India. I have students in India who line up. I have students here. So that's basically all that I want. I just
yeah,
want the art form to grow and grow and create a big lineage so that the kids can further pass it on to the next
yeah.
generation.
I ask you like, what would you like to share with the young aspiring dancers that wish to pursue Indian classical dance
Yeah.
professionally or just wanting to learn about our culture. So, what would be the message that you would like to share with them?
In today's globally, I've noticed like many of today's generation, the young generation, because they have so much of exposure to social media, don't see the consistency in learning from a guru or staying put. How, like me, like
Mm,
30, 35 years, 50 years, one guru just go all out and learn. And, you know, I don't see that happening. I see them like flipping from one to the other, and you don't learn anything like that. You
mm,
don't learn anything. You move like that, you die out very quick. You stay put and get the entire essence that guru has to pass on. Eventually you start reading. But I have a lot of these students with me who are doing just that. Probably I have set an example because I have been with my guru till the last day. She's been there. So that is something that they've seen, and I'm blessed to be I've been under her guidance for 30, 35 years. It's just yeah. So that's what I pass on to the students as well. Like, you stay, be consistent in your practice, and there is enjoy dance, then you pass it on
yeah.
even better.
And
Yeah. If
there's
you
no
don't, if it's
age.
just like, okay, one program, this program,
Yeah.
it
And there is
just
no
dies.
age or limit to learn the
No.
dance.
Oh
Like
no,
I would say,
never,
never.
never.
But if
Yeah.
you look at it, there is no subject in the world that is like
That
done with.
you ever
Yeah.
stop learning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing is like done. I'm done with this. There's nothing like I'm done. It's only a beginning every single time. I'm an eternal shishya, like I always say, my eternal shishya. Always a student of dance. Yeah.
Yeah.
I look at sometimes my students do amazing job and I'm like, oh my God, I never thought of it. So I learn from them too. So yeah.
What about your family? Anyone from your family besides you who is also into this?
No, 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 no. I never had anybody when I was growing up. It was just me. But now I have my nieces who are dancing, all of them.
Okay.
My daughter dances. She's at Texas A&M now, so
Oh
she
wow.
dances. Yeah, she's to her business and third year of college. But my nieces, a lot of them in India, Bombay and Kerala, they all are dancing.
Okay.
Now
But
we have this generation.
is your daughter going to be? Is she also teaching?
No, no, no. She's at Texas A&M now, busy with her own thing. Now she's in the
Okay.
last team, jumping away. She's enjoying that part of, yeah. So hopefully we'll see after her degree what she plans to do.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure that she got something from her mom,
She's
right?
got definitely. She definitely got it with her. It
Yes.
depends on how she uses it. Does she want
Yeah.
to use it? That's up to her.
Right. Right. Very
Beautiful.
nice.
Everything has been so beautiful talking, Narthi, to you, both of you
Yes,
here.
it's been an amazing, and I really I feel like, I can see the passion, the love
Yes.
for the dance that you have from not just now, but from the very early age. And listening to your journey and listening to everything that you've learned from your guru is such a beautiful story. And I hope that our audiences are getting inspired by this. And if they want to learn dance and learn all about the Mohiniyattam, then they'll definitely contact you. We'll post your information on our podcast description so they can reach out to you. But again, I would again say that it's been an honor for us to have you on the show. And this really makes me feel I always wanted to learn Bharatnatyam, which when I was a kid, I went for a couple of classes, and then I don't know why, for some reason at that time when you're a kid, every day you want to learn something new, and then it was one of those phases I was going through, but I never got to that point to learn. But maybe now I should start that.
It's never late, I'm telling you. Just
Yeah, it's
enjoy.
never too late.
Like
Yes.
I tell my adult students, they always say the same thing. When we were kids, we never got a chance, or we learned little, or the education, the studies took over and we had to quit and all that.
Yeah.
So they're back in class. I said, you dance because you're happy. You're not dancing for anybody else. You just dance because it makes
Exactly.
you. They are,
Mm,
and that's a blessing I get. The joy they get when they wear their costume, like, oh my god, we never thought you'd wear something like this, or we never thought you would ever dance on stage. So these are small blessings that come my way.
It
So
is.
I'm very lucky to have very good students and very
yeah.
encouraging parents and very good support. So I just feel there's nothing more that I want. It's just happy, just
Wow,
contented.
that is so beautiful. That is
Just beautiful.
absolutely
That's all.
beautiful. No, but thank you again. And to all our audiences, like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to hear more about all the inspiring women that we bring onto our show, stay tuned and subscribe to our channel. And we thank you again. Be kind to yourself and to others. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you,
so
both of you. Thank
much.
you
Thank you.
so much for having me. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you. Bye bye.